A trucking accident in Colorado is now part of international news. Specifically, the truck driver who caused the accident gets a 110-year sentence. The outrage is this is an excessive sentence. And it probably is. But don't blame the judge. The judge followed the law. Don't blame the laws. The law will probably be changed, but the law is not unjust. Blame the prosecutors. Prosecutors in the United States routinely file every conceivable charge against the defendants. They do that to intimidate the defendants into pleading guilty. Or if they don't plead guilty, increase the cost of the trial. Prosecutors have nearly unlimited resource, many lawyers that they could devote to the prosecution. A regular, everyday defendant does not have those resources. The reason why the truck driver got 110 years is because the prosecutors filed 27 charges, and the truck driver was found guilty of all of them. That's why he got a 110-year sentence. There is an international petition with over 4 million signatories asking or demanding that the sentence be reduced. And most likely it will. In Colorado, or even most states, if not all states, the governor has the power to reduce the sentence or free the defendant entirely. And it's an almost certainty that the governor of Colorado will. Question is, how long will it take him? The governor can unilaterally reduce the sentence or free the person entirely, or he could have a commission review the commutation or pardoning. There's a very good chance that the governor will do this, so he doesn't have to take full responsibility. Even the prosecution is asking that the sentence be reduced. But they're not doing it in the interest of justice. If the prosecutors were out for justice, they wouldn't have filed 27 charges in the first place. They're asking that the sentence be reduced because they are embarrassed. But again, it's a near certainty that the sentence will be reduced to something reasonable, more reasonable. Let me say that. Well, let's look at the accident itself. The truck driver was not trained in mountain driving. He was trained in Florida. There aren't mountains in Florida. The truck driver should never, ever have been issued a CDL, commercial driver's license. whoever issued it should be prosecuted because it's illegal. The truck driver does not have a command of the English language. He couldn't read all the warning signs, warning them of steep hills, sharp turns. Put your truck in low gear. He couldn't read that. He didn't know how to drive, but if he spoke English, he probably would have been able to read the signs and took some of the advice. There were multiple emergency exit ramps. But since he couldn't read, he probably didn't know what they were for. I lived most of my life in Colorado. I have driven that stretch of highway hundreds of times. So I know what the signs say. I know how to drive in the mountains, even though I don't drive a truck. There is a technique to driving in the mountains. Mostly drive in lower gears. You don't ride your brakes all the way down the hill. I don't ride that stretch of highway every day, but there's another similar stretch of highway that I do drive almost every day. The signage on that road is similar. Steep road ahead. Drive in lower gear. I have seen trucks go down the hill where I live with burning brakes, but they were able to get their trucks under control eventually. Burning brakes don't smell too good. One of the things that kind of ticks me off is cars, often out of state, that every time the road curved, they brake, then we go around another curve, brake, then go around another curve, brake. They don't know how to drive in the mountains. If you are a truck driver, you should know if you're going down a steep hill. And the steep hill on I-70 goes for miles and miles. If you use only your brakes to slow down and keep your truck under control, you're going to burn out your brakes just like this guy did. He tried to put it in lower gear, but by that time it was too late. I think he said he even put it in neutral. Tried to use the emergency brake, but that was burned out too. The brakes on his truck may not have been in perfect shape. But I don't think that was the issue. The man did not know how to drive in the mountains. That was the primary issue. He couldn't read English. That was an issue. And he was just overwhelmed by the circumstances. He shouldn't have had a CDL. If he didn't have a CDL, he wouldn't have been driving the truck, and this would have never happened. But as far as the sentence go, if you think 110 years is excessive, don't worry, it'll be reduced. If you think 110 years is not excessive, you're going to be disappointed because the sentence will be cut down. But I'm pretty sure this guy will never drive a truck again. He never should have been driving a truck, in the first place.